Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Ava Toro. I am ex-Reddit, ex-Twitter, currently something new brewing, but I am a senior account manager and a global researcher. So that's just a fancy way of saying that I use data to storytell. That storytell could be around marketing strategies, product strategies, targeting, development. I'm the person that people come to when they want to measure twice and cut once. And really excited to be on this panel with you guys.
Hi everyone, my name is Fanta-Marie. I am a cybersecurity content creator. On top of that, cybersecurity consultant. So my focus is supporting DOW or DOD contractors. They have certain compliance frameworks that they have to meet before they bid on contracts. So I support their compliance. I also build out environments for them in the cloud. So I do a lot, but yeah, that's in sum. It's been a pleasure meeting a lot of you people here. Everybody looks so great and everybody's so smart. So I'm excited and let's connect after this too.
Okay, yeah, my name is Charles, Cloud Tech Exec on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm a cloud engineer / cloud security engineer. So I build out all the infrastructure for the apps that you see. So more or less all the stuff you don't see. And I teach people how to leave their low-paying careers to make $250,000 as a cloud engineer. We do use, of course, AI methodologies as we learn the skill set, but part of my offer is teaching people from the ground up to actually landing the roles like these.
A lot of Black excellence on this panel, and you guys have been through some very long journeys to get to where you are today. And I've talked to some people in here, some people are entrepreneurs, some people are now trying to transition into technology. And so to give them some type of inspiration on how to pivot into a tech career of any sort, I want to give you guys some time to kind of talk about your journey. What inspired you to do what you're doing today? How did you get there? Were you always in there from when you graduated college, or did you have to pivot into it?
That is actually exactly what we were talking about just now. So I am a Georgia native and Atlanta native, South Side for those in here.
South Side.
Okay. And I went to UGA, and during my time there, I majored in digital marketing. And a part of that aspect was research. And that's where I found myself just more attracted to the data mining. I grew up doing the same thing with my dad. He has a small business here in Atlanta called Southern Local Nuts. And so playing around with numbers, Excel, that came naturally. But being able to see that I could do numbers and still talk to people, that's what really leaned me towards research, but I couldn't get in. You know, I was applying for every research and strategy role after college, and I could not break that account manager like ceiling. And every time I would get a call back from a Google, and then the second round interview was like, oh, well, you know, they want someone with tech experience. I kept hearing I needed tech experience to get into tech, but nobody wanted to let me into tech without the tech experience. So it was this catch-22 where it felt like nothing I did was gonna move the needle. So I had to reframe my mindset. And this was back when they at least were telling people why you were getting a denial. And it would be like, hey, you don't, outside of the tech experience, you're actually missing a lot of data analyst experience. I know you say you know Excel, but saying you know something versus showing it in practice is two different things. So after those roles, I went straight to a data analyst role. I sat at that role for a year. I was miserable. Any data analyst or people who have held that role, you know how miserable it is. You're just in large data sets building Tableau dashboards. You're learning skills that are annoying, but it made me more competitive. So I once again tried to apply for research roles. Denied again. I didn't have enough strategy or enough client-facing experience. So I kept applying. I applied for about 6 months to 120 jobs, and I only had 10 callbacks, 2 final rounds, and the one that I really wanted, I would have to go agency side. I've taken pay cuts, I've taken significant pay bumps. It just kind of depends. But when I went into this role, there was a woman who was in my interview, and I explained to her, because they were walking through tools your girl did not know, but I knew I learned quickly. So I told her right in the middle of the interview, I don't know most of this. I can learn it in 2 weeks. I just need someone to take a chance on me. I'm literally just looking for an opportunity. And she believed me. She told the other interviewer to leave the room, and she said to me verbatim, I believe that you can do this role. I'm gonna make sure you get it. So the reason that moment catapulted my career. Then I ended up getting headhunted for a role at Twitter. Twitter wanted me. I was begging to get into tech, and then finally a role presented itself. I took it. And then when I get in there, then I can move around to Reddit, and then I've moved around to my new role now. And I will say, never stop telling people that you're trying.
Yeah.
Some people may tell you, oh no, don't show them weakness. I was honest. I have been honest and transparent. Those in the room who have met me, you know how much I lead with transparency. I try not to leave much to question, but that transparency and that honesty about who I am and what I'm capable of, that gave me my opportunity.
Ooh, my story for breaking into cyber was kind of unplanned, but I'm thankful for the journey. I started off as a Girls Who Code ambassador when I was in high school, so I used to be very technical at a point. And then I went to school. I studied computer engineering at West Virginia, but this was during the pandemic, so I wasn't getting internships. And if you're an engineering student, you don't have an internship. Good luck. So I needed to pivot. I ended up going back to school for cybersecurity at the time. You know, I'm sure a lot of people in here know who Simone Bies is. She was during the pandemic. I was seeing a lot of her videos of like 6 figures in cybersecurity, GovTech, whatever. And I was like, okay, let me hop on that. It took me, I would say, a year and a half and about 700 applications before I landed a job. So yeah, 700. I tracked that in Google Sheets. I literally like manually, yeah. So I still have that. That was honestly like the darkest time in my life, but I applied to a junior sysadmin role at a Fortune 100 company, and I was literally the only applicant. And the CTO called me and he asked me like 2 questions. And he was like, explain to me how the internet works. So I was like, okay, this was my first class in my cybersecurity program. So we were learning about like 3-way handshake and TCP and UDP protocols and all this stuff. So I was just like, look, I am in school. This is what I'm learning, but I think this is the right answer. And he's like, okay, I'll call you back. So he calls me back the next day and he's like, can you start Monday? And man, like I literally bawled on I cried so hard because being in the DMV, it was my first job, but they paid significantly higher. So just like struggling after school, not being able to find a job, 600, 700 applications in, and then you land a 6-figure offer with no experience. I was like, holy crap, like Simone Bies knows what she's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Now, that is not everybody's experience, right? But it is still possible today. Like, you just have to be prepared to apply, like I would say, upwards of 1,000 applications to land something, which you just have to be consistent. So that's it.
Mine is a little bit different, I would say. I was not in love with tech when I got into it. Like, anybody that knows me before I was in tech, I was fighting. All I wanted to do was fight. I wanted to do mixed martial arts. I wanted to wrestle. That's what I ended up going to college for. And I learned a couple things about fighting. Almost every fighter is broke. They broke unless they're a champion in whatever division, whatever promotion they're a part of. I ended up getting injured. My practice partner at the time, they took their life, and that sent me into like this crazy depression. But in being in that season, I didn't realize that the skills of me just tinkering around and just being in the space, even just playing video games, built that foundation for me to have the troubleshooting mindset to still pursue space for myself in tech. I do have a computer science degree. Computer science isn't necessarily related to what I do, but just going through that season is what exposed me to something that I didn't know that I had a talent or skill with. And even then from there, that same battle of attrition with applications was a big thing for me. Like even now, like I still have the same spreadsheet I got for my very first job offer. It took me like 1,400 applications, but I ended up getting like 3 offers out of it, and that just spiraled into building the tenacity, the grit to go through the process, because it's part of the game. If you want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars in this space, you're gonna have to go through some battle of attrition in one way or the other. But just going through that season is what exposed me to what I was really good at.
Okay, the tech landscape has changed a lot. Me personally, I've been looking, just to make sure I'm still competitive in the market, And a lot of the things that I did during the COVID time is honestly not as strong today. With AI and everything coming out, it's just, you have to make yourself a little bit more competitive. What do you guys think worked back then, but is not working now? And what actually works now in order for you to learn the role?
I would say the thing that didn't work before was mediocrity, and it never will work.
Okay.
You need to actually know
fair.
what you're doing in your field.
Yeah.
For example, if I was a mediocre researcher, anything that comes of me will be mediocre, including any agent I build, anything that I make that is agentic. It'll be mediocre because I am mediocre. So I think the misconception right now is that specialists will no longer be needed, and that people will be able to coast without having the basic foundational knowledge of their roles. For example, I'm in marketing. Marketing includes research. If I don't know how to do media math, for those in the room who know what media math is, then I won't be able to produce anything that is useful or helpful to a business. So I would say don't discount the fact that base knowledge in your field is necessary before anything extreme. Now, for those that have that base knowledge and you're trying to understand competitiveness, I would figure out, one, you need to understand agents. You need to understand how to build an agent. We're past prompting. If you are still at the prompting phase, you are slightly behind, but there is a lot of free material out there so that you can get better at prompting. I was talking to some people around here. I've personally found that parents, I am not one of them, parents are great prompters for AI because they're used to telling a entity that does not have a lot of background knowledge how to do things that are very specific. So that's essentially what prompting is. If you don't have the base knowledge to tell it what to do and don't know how to provide instruction, it won't do what you need to do. But you need to understand agent building now. Anything agentic, most enterprises aren't just looking for people to prompt, they're looking for people to build. You know, at my new role right now, I am being tasked with trying to figure out how to expedite our state of products, our survey results. It's not going to ever take my job. It is going to free me up to do more. Most research teams at companies don't exceed 10 people globally. I was on a global insights team. So I'm working in APAC, EMEA, I'm working in Canada, and having to pull insights across multiple brands and verticals and audiences. Yes, AI will help me. AI will never take my job. Even with anywhere I've stepped away from, they've tried to train an agent to think like me, and they can't. But that's also because I have a lot of the specialist base knowledge that everything I built was so helpful that they thought they could just take my knowledge and put it into something. And they can't. It's too expensive, it doesn't scale, and it doesn't account for changing climates. The main reason for everyone in the room to have less fear of AI, the only way AI will take anyone in this room's permanent job, everyone, to clear this room out, every company would have to work together to give access to their data. The reason that there's no great social listening platform that is AI powered is because Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn will never put all of their data in one place. For those who don't understand what an API integration is, an API integration is basically a fire hose that a tool puts into a company so that it can pull out knowledge, data, and it's usually very, very, very raw data. And not only that, most companies only give you a trickle. They call it a fire hose, but it'll never be enough to really wet anything up. So that means with no companies willing to work together to share all of their data consistently, that means it's never going to get to that point where it takes anyone's jobs. Now, some roles will be phased out. The same thing happened with robotics, but other roles will then be created. So learning more about the back end, learning more about cybersecurity, project management is going to have a big role. Project, product. Those are the two roles that AI is not taking.
Yeah, in my opinion, and just to give you guys reference, I interview and I have jobs. I have clients. I don't care. I'm always going to test the market to understand how sharp I am and the data points that I need to take back to people as a competitive candidate in the market. What I see from a cloud engineering or a cloud security perspective is there's already business with a giant footprint. It could be on cloud, it could be on premise, but they don't necessarily have the skill set on hand to scale their AI resources or services as they would like to.
Are you sure?
100%.
100%.
Companies are hiring AI engineers every other day.
Right, to build the AI services, not secure or host them in a scalable fashion. That's 100%.
I'm listening.
So just to give you an example, like I have a client, I'm not going to name drop or anything, but they have resources that they've been spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on that they don't even know exist. And their mindset is, we still have to scale, we still have to implement this because we have these AI budgets that we want to get out, yet they're burning budget on things that they have no knowledge of.
Interesting.
Right, so if they go ahead and implement these new services, spend that budget, they're going to be looking to, let's say, fix a bigger problem once they get down the line. There aren't a lot of people with this skill set that can tell you, hey, this is exactly how you set up a model, this is how you secure it, this is how you scale it, this is how you look for prompt injection. There aren't a lot of people like that.
Okay, you work in the government sector, so I want to hear how GovTech is, what their mindset is with AI, talent, leverage. How does that sector look like right now?
I would say right now it's a lot of job security because the government moves very slow. Everything is pegged to some NIST family or special publication, so that takes years for revisions to come out. Secondly, it takes years for the frameworks like FedRAMP or CMMC to adopt those. So right now, I mean, it's very anti-AI, and with those frameworks, it's all about how government data moves through these companies, right? So they have to go through assessments. It's a lot of stuff, and every update to a service requires a reassessment.
Okay.
It's a lot of work. So, I mean, I'm safe. The government is safe over here. But, I mean, AI, you can use it to speed up. I would say report generation is the biggest thing. But other than that, like.
Quick question: has the government started to purchase Claude, Gemini, Google? Like, are they investing in those companies and deploying them in governmental systems?
Yeah, so a lot of the big names in AI have gone through FedRAMP assessments. So they have Anthropic or OpenAI for government. They've gone through those FedRAMP assessments. But the problem is a lot of the services that we commonly use at home or whatever you want to deploy locally cannot be used in government systems or house government data. So you're getting very restricted services.
So if I wanted to be an AI government, I work in GRC, so if I wanted to work in AI governance, do I have a better chance working with where I am now for the government versus the private sector?
I would say the happy medium is probably working for a contractor or any startup that is looking to do business with contractors. Okay. So I don't work for the government and never plan to, but I support contractors. Okay. And that's the sweet spot.
A lot of people nowadays call themselves founders, and no shade, no see, no shame. Like, everybody's a founder in their own right. But with vibe coding, a lot of founders are able to, vibe code an app and be able to release it in the next 2 days using Claude, Gemini. Do you guys think that we have a lot of demo-ready businesses versus actual, real, tangible companies that can actually support the demand that the market has right now?
I would say, as a founder who's also used AI to build a lot, one, it saved me so much money and I'm able to ship so much quicker. Like I've literally spent 5 figures with development firms. Every time you check in with them, they're like, oh yeah, things are going great. And then they're like, oh, we need more money. Exactly. And I'm like, nothing changed from the last meeting. Exactly. Like, what are we talking about? So I've been working on a couple projects that I'm getting ready to release soon, which I'm very excited about. And it's just from years of experience talking to my community, some of my students, trying to make sure I deliver a quality project. So back to what you were saying earlier, prompt engineering is very important. If I've done some soft launches and demos, when people look at my landing page and I'm like, oh yeah, I used AI to build that, they're like, what? Because a lot of us are just typing in some sort of input and then hitting send, and then we're building the same slop. I'm so anti AI slop. Okay. So it takes time. I think you can build quality products, but it's not going to be overnight. You might have a working prototype or a wireframe, but it's taken me months and couple thousand in tokens to get just a working demo.
I leverage AI for my marketing and my ad spend. So if any of you guys know, or any of you guys are in the business space, you're investing in marketing, the companies that have the biggest revenue have the biggest marketing spend. And for you to have that spend, you have to be able to generate different creatives, different ads to attract your audience for them to buy whatever you're selling. I use it in that sense. Everything else that I use within my business, within my coaching offer, it's a pre-built platform. But from my perspective, the value from AI is being able to generate those things for testing. Other than that, I just use it within my career.
You use it just for testing? You don't use it to push out you said you used to push out your ads, right?
Yeah, just ads. Just ads.
Okay, so AI can generate ads for any business owner here to help them attract a bigger audience, help them generate more.
100%. And anybody who's thinking about building something, selling something, it doesn't really matter what it is. It could be in the tech space. I think there's a lot of focus on building something, but not necessarily building the business understanding of how you go from generating leads to actually generating revenue or cash flow. I think a lot of people are quick to say, oh, I could spin up this with AI, but do you have the actual understanding to collect cash? Do you have the actual understanding of what it takes to go from, I don't know this person, to I'm ready to buy from this person? I think people should maybe prompt to understand what that really looks like. Because these businesses that are making 6 and 7 figures a year, they understand how business works, and you don't just learn that from AI prompting, right?
You know, while I do agree marketing can definitely be one of those places where AI steps in for ad development, but in order, like you mentioned before, to not end up with AI slop, maybe for those who went to InvestFest this year, saw the same flyer you can always tell.
Yeah.
The reason that looks like that is because they all just took all the information from their event or their product. They said, make it into a flyer. And that's what you get.
Yeah.
Now, had they actually at least done one consultation with a graphic designer to have them explain like the different ways that you can build out these types of pieces, even if you did some basic on the boots ground research on how other companies within your competitive set, or you know, your altruistic company that I want to be in the next 10 years, how do they go about doing things? How does their products look? I'd rather you copy than keep doing generic.
Okay.
So if you have something in your business, whether it be finance, whether it be cybersecurity, whether it be marketing, I do not believe the first place is at your keyboard. The first place should be either working with someone from a consultancy side and having them leverage that AI for you. And there's a lot of things, for example, with website development. I did website development for 2.5 years. You really don't need to do it that long to get a base knowledge. And I had government contracts. We worked with the Air Force. We worked with Woodruff Arts Center. And I'm currently helping my dad with his website redevelopment. And I noticed one thing that they were using in the mock-ups was AI, but we didn't know that at first. As a former website developer, the mock-ups looked fine. They looked great. But when it came to actually having to put their hands on the keyboards, because affording the AI that is able to actually build a great website is very expensive.
So are we not using the AI that knows how to develop
No,
proficient website?
if you have a basic Claude, if you have a basic free access to ChatGPT, it will not build you a good flyer, it will not build you a good website. Even if you paying a $20 a month,
Oh my gosh.
it is not going to ever build your website as great as a graphic designer will or a website developer will. That is just not the type of standards you need to set.
Okay.
But if you need something to ship so that you can start making more money and start getting the investment you need, because one thing I think we're missing from the vibe coders that are building these products and shipping them out, they're shipping them out in alpha and beta stages. These are not final stage. No, and these are being shipped out quicker to attract more investors to pay for what? People to help scale it. Eventually. So AI is a great way for you to get your product in a better place to start talking for funding.
Okay.
But once you get that funding, be careful putting that money right back into credits if you don't know what you're doing. If you end up spending thousands of dollars trying to vibe code your payment system instead of actually working with Stripe to actually understand how payment systems work, you can end up wasting thousands of dollars. You end up now not being able to ship as quickly because your payment system is all messed up. It doesn't know how to calculate shipping. It doesn't know how to calculate taxes. And now you're wondering where all your money went, and now your idea has to get scrapped.
So what I'm hearing is that AI is smart, but it's not smart enough. And that pivots to my next question is, I wanted to ask specifically, this might be a generic question, but do you guys truly believe that all of this AI, the hype on AI and how it's taking over our jobs is actually realistic, or is a skill set actually needed? You shook your head first, so I'm gonna come to you first on if AI is actually going to replace jobs, or is that just hype and noise in the news and everything?
Yeah, I think AI is meant to assist the jobs that we currently have. It'll help us free up time to focus on other things and be more creative. Are we at a point where it'll completely replace people? No. I think common misconception that we see in the media is like, oh, this company laid off people because of AI. And it's really just the bottom line. They're looking to cut wages so that they can invest more in AI infrastructure. That's not a direct replacement of like a marketing department or an accounting department. That's not what that's saying at all. So I think when we're reading these headlines, we need to have some discernment and like investigate a little more. And then on top of that, I just spent the past week at Black Hat in Vegas.
Oh, how was that?
Phenomenal.
Okay. Is it worth the money?
Yes.
It's worth it?
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I would say.
Why would you say?
So the workshop I attended was a Innovators and Investors Summit, and they had a couple like OpenAI and Anthropic AI forecasters there who were talking about they have NDAs, but they were trying to be as they're trying to disclose what they could, and a lot of the stuff we see in the media is fluff.
Okay.
Specifically, I know a couple weeks ago there was like the OpenAI article where they said their AI reached the internet and it went rogue. Like that was a design test, number one. Number two, the company that it attempted to break into, like whatever intrusion detection system they had, caught it before it did anything, right? So it's like we have products that are already better than what these companies are telling us. So we have to remember that they answer to investors. There's billions of dollars that is invested in data and infrastructure, so they need a return, right?
Yeah.
And it was so weird to me when I researched it, and it was like every media outlet had the same heading.
Propaganda.
And I was like,
They're hungry. And slot control.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. Like, I think in 10 years, we'll definitely see the landscape change, but like right now, it's really just about money. Like there's billions of dollars and there are rich men who need answers for those dollars. So that's my perspective on it.
Okay, Claude, what do you think?
So I think AI is a force multiplier, right? Like 0 times 100 is still 0. If you don't have the foundational or skills to solve a business problem, it doesn't matter. You're going to be multiplying a low-level skill set times nothing, right? Ultimately, you can use AI to help you move faster with your current role or your current skill set, but ultimately, it's not going to be able to explain to stakeholders or leaders or leadership why you made the decisions that you made. You may be able to pump out data, you might be able to pump out a spreadsheet or some image, but ultimately, you're gonna have to be the person. You're gonna have to be that human connection to convey why you made the decisions that you made. She mentioned AI slop a second ago. I worked on the team and they immediately seen the emojis and gave me a hard time, right? You have to be able to tread through those things, and you still have to speak to the problem yourself. It's not going to solve it for you. It's only as useful as you are against the problem.
Before we do take crowd questions, the last question that I have for everybody at the panel here, everybody in this room is at a different stage in their career. Some people want to get promoted in the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Some people want to pivot into their careers. From your experiences with pivoting careers, getting promotions, I don't know if any of you guys have been managers or directors in your fields, but how do we manage corporate politics in particular in order to gain that corporate political to rise in our career? Because it's not just about how hard you work in corporate. I mean, I can testify to that. I know someone that was on leave that got promoted while they were on leave. And I just knew she had political gain in order to get a promotion. So from your experience with political capital, you're shaking your head, so I'm just gonna go ahead and ask that you take the mic to help us navigate our careers in corporate right now.
As someone that had a lot of pivoting, I was a manager, I was a junior again. I technically went through half of a layoff. And to make a long story short, they essentially eliminated the level on my team and gave me 2 weeks to either leave or find another role. But because I was historically a high performer, the biggest thing that saved me was my internal networking. Now, it's great networking at events like this. This is great. But start trying to bring some of your coworkers to these events, because my experiences internally networking saved me. I had so many women in my field with so much experience, IBM, Google. It was years, 1 to 2 years of no jobs, no callbacks, always being told you're overqualified, which I'm like, why is that a bad thing? But I watched what happened, and I was just so grateful that right when I sent those first couple of messages after seeing some open roles, hey, I know we haven't worked on a project in a long time, or hey, I know we worked on a project 2 weeks ago, and I would really like to see, get into this pipeline. The way they clamored,
Are you serious?
the way people showed up for me, I will say my biggest blessing has been my internal corporate community.
Were you just nice to them? Or
No,
was
I gave effort when it was asked.
Okay.
I didn't overdo it. The person that ended up giving me my role and getting me, not only was I halfway laid off, they pulled me through the interview process, got me more money. They had to give me stocks, and I got a promotion even though I was laid off.
Yeah, equity in the company is a big deal.
I joined strategically. I did not overextend myself, y'all. I did not break my back. I was not in everybody's faces. I was not putting on coffee chats with everyone. No.
Yeah.
I built an executive board at the company.
Okay.
My executive board comprised of 1 to 2 people at the C-suite level. So I had to think to myself, how do I get access? Well, our CEO is our ERG executive sponsor. I have now worked with my CEO for 4 years. I called him to show up to a Black History Month event that I put together.
Oh.
Hey, Steve, I'm gonna need you to show up.
So just building actual relationships.
Build relationships that make sense for the people you're building them
Yeah.
with. I only talk to Steve once a month. And then I also got in with our chief security officer. I'm not in engineering, everyone. I'm not in engineering. But the head of engineering at the company paid for me to speak at my first render.
Wow.
Then I have my second level. So these are director, manager levels. These are gonna be the people that, for those who are not in tech or not familiar, your promotions and your movement through the company has gone through something called calibration. Calibration includes your manager, your skip level manager, which is the manager above your manager, people that are cross-functional executives. So like the head of sales, she knew my name because I made sure that I found a hole in the company that only I could fill. I never talked to her. She knew my name from my work. So when you're thinking about building these connections internally, I'm not telling you to put on coffee chats with everyone. I'm saying that when you're in a room, when you're on a panel for something internal, go to the all hands. Go to the happy hour once in a while.
Yeah.
Because those connections, one of our head of community, her and I ended up cutting up at an event running around barefoot. And now when she sees me at it, that was only one time. I didn't have to have this consistent coffee chat with her, but I had a memorable moment and I made sure to be memorable when I
Found
left.
places to her heart. 100%.
I need to take some notes from her. I ain't gonna hold you, but my methodology is, I would say, on the opposing end of the spectrum. I am not the best at building relationships in the workplace. I have coworkers that will see my content. They'll be like, "Oh, I know you from content." No, you don't. You know me from work. But the methodology that I do is more of a volume and eyes-based type of thing.
Okay, so you're on the output.
Right, because ultimately, the business will keep you as long as you can provide value. I want my value to be high. I could care less about the likability, because if I can add value to this business, I can add value to the market. If I can get more eyes on my skill set in the market, more validation that I can do this before business even sees me, I don't care if you don't need me here anymore. I can replace my salary very shortly. I think relationship building is very, very important, but you don't want to end up in a chapter where you're having to tap people on the shoulder to get your next opportunity. You want to be able to cultivate that with volume, with eyes, with the own opportunity that you build, and then stack the relationships on top. Like I said, I'm not the best at networking. I'm genuinely going to take notes from her.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to make it happen for yourself. I mean,
You're playing to your strengths.
Absolutely. Like I was saying earlier, I still interview even though I have money, even though I have a job, even though I have stability, because you always want something in the pipeline. You'll always be closing. I don't care how stable you are in your job, they will cut you in a second the moment you mess with their bottom line or the moment they decide you're not valuable to the business. And in that moment, you need to be able to go out and show the market that you're valuable. Right? I mean, I've gotten laid off on like a hat's notice before. I didn't even care. They said, "Hey, this is gonna be your last day." I closed the laptop because I didn't care. I already had something else in the fire because always be closing, right?
Thank you.
All right. I'm really just gonna blend what the two of them said.
Yeah.
I think you need to start with what your bigger picture is. If you're looking for stability or you're looking to be a leader, align yourself with those skills and go after it. I know I have friends that love the corporate world. They want to be VPs and directors and CFOs, and I'm like, I have an MBA. Like that was once my dream, but once I was in the corporate space, I realized it doesn't align with my personality. It doesn't align with who I am. I have ADHD, like, and having to be so structured and go to events and talk to people, like, it didn't feel genuine. Like it's not for me. And then two, being a creative, like I'm giving 8-9 hours a day to somebody else's vision, and then at the end of the day, I have nothing left for me. So I'm like, I can dream bigger than this. Like,
Yeah.
so that's where I'm at now. Is like, I want freedom and stability, so I have to build that for myself.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, I can go be a corporate slave and just do it. But
You guys have the chance to talk to them after we're done. So we'll just make it more of a personal question. I want us to be able to vibe out. We have DJs coming on. We have piano and chill coming up right now after this panel. And so I want us to be able to get some drinks, vibe out, network, meet your next business partner. So before we end out, I want everybody to give them a round of applause today. Thank you guys so much for sharing authentic and true gems. Thank you for not filtering. Thank you for just being yourselves, being authentic, and letting us know what actually happens behind the curtain. Thank you guys so much. So if you want to hear more about them, check out our YouTube channel, check out their interviews, get more gems. We have everybody from everywhere, sisters, you name it, on the platform. So check it out. Thank you guys for coming. God bless you, and BJ.